What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson from JD Sports Zone, and today I have a very special interview with former Miami Marlin, now German pro pitcher, Mr. Alex Sanabia. Alex, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, and especially with the big time difference. How's your day going?
Good, bro. Good, good, good. Here in Switzerland, doing a little bit of sightseeing, so running around for the last few days. So can't complain.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome to hear, the different ventures in baseball. Now, before I kind of get into that with different areas of baseball, I want to drive it back to the beginning of your pro ball career. 2006, you were drafted by the Miami Marlins in the 32nd round. Now, I love getting this perspective from different athletes because a lot of people either go to college ball route, but you went right out of high school. I want you to kind of maybe explain what decision led you to going straight into pro ball.
Dude, it was honestly as simple as I didn't want to go to school. I took a few trips to Long Beach, Irvine, and Riverside, and when I was at Riverside, I asked the pitching coach that was recruiting me. I said, "Hey, do I have to wait 3 years to get drafted?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, I'm not doing this. Like, school's not for me, and I'm not going to be in school for 3 years. Let alone who knows if I'll survive college." So I was a DNF. And it just so happened to work out that the Marlins were like, "Hey, a few guys didn't sign, so we have some money left over. What would it take to sign you?" And we came to an agreement. And I said, "Yeah, dude, I don't care. I just want to play baseball."
Yeah. And that's absolutely awesome to hear. Now, I've gotten a lot of perspectives from, different draft stories, and it's cool to hear that, you just didn't want to go straight into college and do that. But it's cool to hear the pro ball route. Now, I do want to ask you about like the minor league grind. I interviewed Connor Green a couple weeks ago, a former
Okay.
Baltimore Orioles player, and he said it's more of a minor league blessing. What was that journey like for you to reach the big leagues?
Um, Man, I can say for me, everyone has a different story, but for me, I can say, um, I probably couldn't have landed in a better organization as far as one to come up and go through each level. So I basically played at each level. I mean, I jumped from double A to the big leagues, but eventually I went back down to triple A. I was in rookie ball for 3 years, but honestly, man, it was awesome. I had a lot of fun. But I mean, my situation was I had people on my side, people helping me out, and people sticking up for me because I wasn't always a breath of fresh air. I was 17. I got drafted. I'm from California. I was a little bit difficult to say the least. So I just had the right coaches that pretty much defended me when other people or coaches or staff wanted to get rid of me. So I think luck or I was fortunate. Let's just say.
Yeah, and I think Shane Green also kind of told me the same thing. With I guess the journey from minor league ball to the majors with difficulties with coaches, and I do actually want to ask you this because as a young 17-year-old in the Marlins organization, what was maybe the biggest piece of advice when it came to maybe fundamental adjustments heading into from high school ball to pro ball?
As far as life wise or baseball wise?
Let's say both.
Baseball wise was, let's just say, in high school you were the best player on your team, and now all of a sudden it's every kid that was the best player on their team is on that team. So obviously the talent level is a lot different. I was a 32nd rounder for a reason. I had talent, but it wasn't first round talent or top 5 round talent. So I had to learn where it was the work would make the difference because my talent wasn't where somebody else's was. Life wise, you mature fast and very quick. It was a tough transition for me, probably for the first year and a half. It was hard. I didn't like it, but I just had to grind through it. And most importantly, is I had very supportive parents and a very supportive mother. So my mom and dad were both supportive, but my mom was kind of like she was there. She was my safety net or someone to talk to. So I think that plays a big role, and unfortunately, not a lot of kids have that, and a lot of the Latin players don't have that. I didn't see it then when I was young, but as I got older and started playing in Latin America and having them as teammates, you understood their situation a lot more, and you're just like, wow, like I respect them a lot for this because if it's not easy for me coming from San Diego, imagine somebody else coming from a different country. But you're 17, 18. Your perspective isn't. It's you're not there yet. Like you haven't lived life that long yet.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that perspective, and to hear you had such great supportive parents and people in your corner, because that's truly, what it's about, especially in heading into, you know, adult life that I am now in, having good people around you heading into your major league career. Now, I kind of want to tie into that, your major league career. I want to ask you a fun question. And the fastest somebody has ever gotten this was 37 seconds. Now, I know it was 16 years ago this week. June 24, 2010. Can you name the 1 through 9 from your relief appearance against the Baltimore Orioles for the Miami Marlins? For the
No
Marlins.
chance. No chance. I can name Adam Jones because he's a former San Diego. He's a San Diego. I mean, not a former, but he's a San Diego guy. So Adam Jones, Cesar Isturiz, who ended up being my coach in Venezuela. Jake Fox, if I'm not mistaken, he's a Chula Vista guy, where I'm from, San Diego as well. Uh, Jake Scott, maybe. I can't remember the first name. Luke
Luke
Scott.
Scott.
There you go, Luke Scott. Miguel Tejada, can't forget that one. That one's a no brainer. The right fielder, dude, maybe Markakis.
Yes.
Okay, so I got Adam Jones, I got Tatum, I got Fox. Uh, Catcher couldn't tell you. Asturias, Jones. Yeah, dude, that's about it. And Tejada. I can't think of anybody else, to be honest with you.
Just got Julio Lugo, Ty Wigginton, and uh, yeah, I think those are the only two left that you had left. So I think that was
Oh
pretty good.
man, I know a lot more than what I thought.
Yeah. Do you know of anybody from your own team from that Marlins lineup?
Yeah. Cantu, Hanley, Ugla, uh Maven, who knows if he was there playing. Stanton, Cody Ross, Ronnie Paulino,
Mhm.
or Brad Davis, or God, I can't think of our other catcher's name, and it's so shitty. Um, God, dude, that's all I can think of right now.
You just missing Wes Helms. It was Ronnie Paulino, by the way.
West Helms and Ronnie. Damn it, yeah, Ronnie. I actually ran into Ronnie a few years ago in Mexico, but yeah, West Helms. That's what I was trying to think of, and Ronnie. Brett Hayes was who I was trying to think of.
Mhm.
But yeah, Ronnie, man, Ronnie helped me out a lot, man.
Now, I kind of do want to ask you about, the best moments from your major league career before we drive off into the foreign leagues, because you spent a few years again in the Marlins organization before reaching the major, spent your entirety of your career with the Marlins. What is the most significant moment that sticks out to you during your major league career?
Um, Obviously, besides being called up, but I want to say my very first win at home against the Nationals. We're in the showers, and Ricky Nolasco and Josh Johnson come in and start pouring beer on me. And I'm 21. I run out and I head to the lockers, and they chase me and just they pour beer on me, man. They were celebrating and I guess happy for me, but as a rookie, that's very welcoming, because it's not always the most comfortable situation because you're a rookie and you have guys who have been there for a while. So I want to say probably that's something that to me was pretty neat, because not everyone gets to experience that, or they do experience that, it's not in that fashion. So at least I have something that's memorable when I got my first big league win at home against the Nats.
And I feel like that especially ties in considering it's a division rival as well. I'm in the Atlanta area. I'm surrounded by a lot of Braves fans. Personally, I'm a St. Louis Cardinals fan, so they give me a lot of crap of not having a World Series win since 2011. But I would rather root for the Marlins than the Cardinals. That's a side thing. But that's it's great to hear that you were welcomed by guys like Ricky Nolasco and Josh Johnson during your major league career. Now I kind of want to tie off into the foreign leagues because you spent time in the Mexican League, you spent time in indie ball in the Atlantic League, a couple stints back in the Mexican League, and now you're playing in Germany, in Switzerland, in a beautiful area out there. What was the biggest, maybe cultural or talent wise difference heading out of the States to a foreign country?
The very first time I played out of the country was 2015, where I went down to Mexico for winter ball. And I said, this is winter ball. This is Mexico. I said, this is awesome. Like, this is fun. The big leagues is fun. Don't get me wrong. But the minor leagues suck, dude.
Mhm.
And I don't mean like suck like, oh, this is terrible. I mean, like, it's a grind. It builds character. But I mean, you're playing games, bro. No one's there unless you're in a city or a stadium where like fans actually go to, which I was in New Orleans, bro. Like, nobody went there. Mexico was amazing, bro. It was like music in between pitches. We had a freaking monkey dance scene. Fans go watch games. It's like one big party, dude. And I said, man, this is fun. Like, it brought the fun back to baseball for me. So I would probably say that's the biggest difference. And honestly, that's how it is. I mean, I don't even have to go too far. I mean, we're doing this interview, so it's safe to assume that you watch the WBC. I mean, bro, that's what it is when you play winter ball, when you play in these other leagues. It's just very different, and the people were die hard about it, man. So, and it's beautiful experiences, man. It definitely shapes your perspective as well.
Yeah. And I think that's the best part that, I love what you said is it brought fun back to baseball. And I interview like a lot of banana ball guys who played pro ball for so long and they kind of lost the love of the game of baseball and, kind of derived into foreign leagues and entertainment baseball. So that's great to hear from your perspective. Now I want to ask you another fun question because again, Mexican leagues, you probably get some great food out there. What's the best place that you got during your foreign league trip so far?
Oaxaca,
Mm,
Mexico City, and Tijuana.
mm,
Food is unbelievable. Tijuana is, I'm from San Diego, so I grew up coming back and forth. My mom is from Tijuana, but Oaxaca food is unbelievable. Mexico City just has unlimited places as
mm,
far as food goes. But those are the places that come to mind when you ask me that question.
yeah,
And Mazatlan, Sinaloa, mariscos, seafood.
mm. Personally, I'm a big seafood fan. I've been to Mexico a couple times, Puerto Vallarta, um, Cozumel. I want to go back now that I'm graduated from college. But you gave me some places that I'm definitely gonna check out. Like
You should go. And if you go to Merida, Yucatan.
mm.
Beautiful place, and you knock out Chichen Itza at the same time. But it's very hot, but man, what a beautiful city.
I'll make sure to book my flights right after this interview. Make sure to do this. But Mr. Sanabia, two final questions for you because I also like getting this perspective, and I get a lot of mixed reactions relating to this 2020 COVID season. You spent time playing baseball in 19 and 2021. What was that COVID season personally like for you?
It was a blessing. It's a blessing in the sense that I was terrible in 2018 and I couldn't think I'd get worse, and I got worse in 2019. So I pretty much revamped and started from the ground up from my delivery. And if it wasn't for COVID, who knows what would have happened. So having that stretch of not playing gave me enough time to just revamp my entire delivery. And I think that saved my career and allowed me to to play and still continue to play. So to me personally, it was a blessing in disguise, and it worked out. I mean, shit, I decided to go to indie ball to try to make it back to the big leagues. And I mean, I got as far as AAA with the Mets after not playing in the States for 6 years. So to me personally, it was a blessing.
I do want to ask you this because I'm not very familiar with the pitching rules in, German pro ball where you're at right now. Do they have a pitch clock violation or like an ABS type sort of thing?
No, no pitch clock, none of what you see in the States. And I know Mexico has implemented a lot of the rules that they do have in the States, but in German or the Bundesliga, no, they don't implement any of that. There's no pitch clock. There's no, God, what other rules? ABS. There's no replay. There's none of that.
It's very interesting to hear, and it's really cool. Again, I've seen a lot of stuff on your stories of the sites in Switzerland and Austria, and again, now that I'm graduated, gonna trip out there as well. Now, I have one final question for you, Mr. Sanabia. Now that you're at the age of 37 and you're playing with a lot of younger guys, maybe on your team, and you spoke about earlier on this interview about experience and advice maybe you received. What's the biggest piece of advice in nowadays baseball in this German pro league that you love sharing to younger guys just getting their start in pro baseball?
Ah, man, be a professional. Be a professional and take your job seriously. But I feel like that's just not it from what you're asking me, man. Because I mean, if it's baseball wise, it's have a routine, have work ethic. Again, be a professional. But I mean, most importantly, man, be a good teammate. I mean, pay it forward. I had a lot of guys that took care of me, man, when I was young and made a big difference in my life, and it shaped my character as an adult. And there's things that I do now because of that. Um, as far as that goes. So I mean, my whole thing is always pay it forward. If you can help somebody, help them out and expect nothing in return. But the younger guys, I can only think of one teammate that I have here in Germany who's 23, and I just tell him, I'm like, hey, bro, like you need a routine, you need to be consistent. Because he asked, like, hey, what's the difference, or what's it like? I'm like, dude, it's the same thing in the big leagues, but everything is better. Hotel's better, travel's better, the food is better. Um, but the biggest difference is it's not the there's guys in the minors or who never make it who have more talent than guys in the majors. But the difference is that those guys are consistent. That's the separator. Day in, day out, they're consistent, and it's not an up and down. And that's probably what I can say, honestly.
And I feel like that's great advice because I have some friends here who played at, my university who kind of had that lost, when playing baseball, wasn't really focused, wasn't there day in and day out. And again, I think you're a great example for the younger guys on the team. And, your team is very lucky to have you. And hey, one day I will travel out to Germany or Austria and come visit and come see you play, Mr. Sanabia. But Mr. Sanabia, thank you again so much for your time and your story. Sharing out on this platform. Is there anything you want to share out before we wrap up the interview?
No, that's it, man. Just thanks for having me. And like I told you before you started recording the interview, man, it's would always tell younger people, man, it's take chances, go on an adventure. Like my mom told me once before I left to Venezuela, I had a contract sitting on my kitchen table for a month. And I said, Mom, it's from what I hear, it's dangerous. And I'm not sure if I should go. But her being the way she is, she goes, Look, sign it, you go. You don't like it, you come back. You like it, then it works out. But if you don't like it, you come back home. So you don't lose anything by trying or giving the intention or the effort. Take action. That's what it is, bro. What I've learned is take action. A lot of people say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Oh, once I get to this, or once I make this, or once this happens. Fuck that, dude. take action. If you have a support system, home will always be home, and your parents are going to be there with a little safety net when you have a good support system. But take chances and, bro, shoot your shot. I mean, like I told you, if it doesn't happen, you don't lose anything. You're in the same situation and scenario when you first started. And if something does happen, who the hell knows? But the world, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, works in mysterious ways. So take action and forget the when I do this, when I do that. Just do it, and trust me, you'll appreciate it more times than not.
And take action. I will definitely be writing that down. And you never know if you shoot your shot and you might regret it. So I honestly think that's, amazing advice, truly. And it can be
Take
applied.
action, bro.
Yeah.
Take action. That's it. If you're thinking of doing something, bro, do it. You sent me a message. I mean, I could have ignored you. I could have said no, but here we are. And if I didn't respond to you, did you miss out on anything?
Well,
You didn't miss out on shit. So take chances, bro.